It's time for Gimme 5. How did the media react to the debate? I told you yesterday, and it's a no-brainer. No matter what Donald Trump did, he would lose. No matter how brilliant a debate he had, and I don't think he had a brilliant debate, but even if he did, like the second debate, he lost. He's got to lose. So they'll find something. They'll find anything. Now, it's unclear to me if this was before or after the debate, this particular soundbite from MSNBC, but it speaks volumes. Watch.
The reason to bring it up, and the reason that it isn't just Trump that brings it up. Sorry, John Husted does the same thing when he's trying to undermine the opportunity to vote by making it harder and harder and harder. It is a dog whistle to people who want to believe that African Americans are cheating. It's a dog whistle to the far right.
You mean when he says St. Louis, Cleveland,
think about
Chicago, Philadelphia, and what do they all have in common?
It's feeding the bright
majorities
who feel that black people are stealing our elections.
Let's remember
that's all it is.
Right. So this is the dog whistle that that was, I think, before the debate. The dog whistle that the Republicans use, voter ID, and this whole fixed election. It's all about a dog whistle to claim that blacks are stealing the election somehow. Really? Really? I mean, that's like, hey, I got to the traffic light. It turned red. I'm black. Must be a conspiracy. I mean, I don't get that at all. Where does she get blaming blacks for this? I can't even get inside their line of thinking. Now, there was a lot more. The hombre comment. When Donald Trump was talking about thugs, illegal thugs in this country who kill Americans, he had the mothers of people who, the mothers who lost sons and daughters at the hands of illegals. They were murdered by them. And in that conversation, he said, we're going to, a lot of bad hombres. Ooh, watch.
I also got to tell you that hombres line that Donald Trump used did not go over well, not just with the Hillary Clinton campaign, but from Latinos. I've heard from people tonight who tell me they were crying, they were offended, downright disgusted by the way he used that word on that stage tonight.
Yeah. Why do I think she was crying and she was downright disgusted? She got calls from people telling her that they were crying because he said there's some tough hombres? Hombres isn't a dirty word. I mean, as John Zogby said, you ever watch these Westerns and stuff? I mean, he was using it as a negative, yes, about murderers. Oh, there's more.
Hillary clearly won, in my view, won this debate. It was her best performance of the three she's had. Donald Trump does well. He did well in the first third, as we've seen in other debates, and then falters in the final of it. I think this is going to continue on. This whole idea that he wouldn't accept the results is going to continue on. I would expect Republican officials around the country in the day and days ahead to come out and say, Donald Trump, you cannot say that. You need to accept the results of this. But this debate was a clear win for Hillary Clinton. She has the lead. She is actually in the process of running out the clock. And unless some unknown event occurs, Hillary Clinton's going to be elected president of the United States.
But he thought that even before the debate, I'm sure. The whole media has been telling us for a week, it's over. It's over. And it's not over. I don't think Donald Trump helped himself yesterday, not because of hombre, not because of nasty woman, not because of what he said about the maybe not accepting the results. He should have said it differently, but I think he's right. What he should have said was, as I've said before, hey, we'll see what happens. Anyway, I just don't think he had a good debate. He didn't bring up the emails bashing Catholics, bashing Latinos, bashing blacks. He didn't bring that up. He should have brought that up. Anyway, so let's go to Van Jones. Van Jones, who I believe reportedly is a former communist. Watch.
You know, this is a really sad night. I'm just going to say it. This is a very sad night for the country. You can't polish this turd. This is, I'm sorry. You cannot.
Technically, you cannot polish any turd.
Yes, exactly. No, the appalling lack of patriotism from this man to stand there and say that, to praise Putin and Assad more than he has ever praised any American president. He doesn't talk about George Washington. He doesn't talk about Ronald Reagan the way he talks about Putin and Assad. This man has demonstrated an appalling lack of patriotism, and you should be ashamed to sit up here and defend it.
Coming from Van Jones, that is precious. Precious. He doesn't talk about George Washington. He didn't praise Putin and Assad. Trump even predicted. He said Assad's a bad man and a terrible man, but you might get worse. And then he said, and now you're going to say I like Assad. Well, she didn't say it. He said it. It's so ridiculous. And he kept pointing his finger at them, like, yeah, I mean, at them right sitting next to him. The whole thing was very uncomfortable, calling him a turd. He called Trump a turd. That's what they do. Now, watch this one. Here's another derogatory remark about Trump. Of course.
Certainly on the issue of immigration, he did himself no good in states like Arizona, in Nevada, in Georgia, in Texas, which is narrowing up. He was incoherent again on national security issues. He was like an old man in the park feeding squirrels, arguing with himself on the question of Mosul.
An old man in the park feeding squirrels. Gee, if someone on the right called Hillary looked like an old lady in the park feeding squirrels, what do you think would happen? Well, we know what would happen. He called her a nasty woman, and now we know the world's exploding. So this is, and who was that? That was Schmidt, the guy who ran McCain's campaign. One of the worst run campaigns ever, a losing campaign. And these are the Republicans that they put on MSNBC speaking as experts to bash Trump. Folks, it's incestuous. The fix is in with the media anyway, and we'll see what happens from here on in. And of course, I thank you for watching.